Hello everyone, welcome to our new webinar with an unbelievable customer testimonial today. We are really lucky, we've got Vanessa and Stefan from Meier Tobler who will share their experience from the usage of our solutions, combined solutions with SOA People and Creditreform. Thank you, Stefan and Vanessa, for being here. I can see, do you see well my screen? I can see that when I just would like to make sure, yeah, sounds perfect. My name is Pierre Chevron. I will be the moderator for today for these presentations. Just a few words before I give the floor to Hervé, the leader of in Switzerland from SOA People. Before I give the floor to you, Hervé, just few informations to make the most of these presentations. You have top right of your screen the opportunity to chat with us. Top right chat, you can say hello, you can say welcome, I welcome you, it is a pleasure to have you, and you can ask all your questions to our participants. If you're not using now Google Chrome, I encourage you just to switch to these browsers, refresh to make the most of the presentations, video, sounds, and everything. Well, thank you for joining. Hervé, I give you the floor.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Pierre, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar, and particular thanks to Meier Tobler, Stefan, and Vanessa for the testimonial you are going to give today to our customer that we have both with Creditreform. My name is Hervé. I'm Managing Director of SOA People Switzerland. For people who don't know us, SOA People is a big SAP partner in Europe. We are editing a lot of different solutions on SAP, as you can imagine. And our aim is really to help you, SAP customer, to make the most of your SAP investment and your SAP system. SAP is a big machine. It's very cool, very good, but it's also very expensive. And sometimes it's a shame that you can't get everything what you need out of it. And by adding a little bit, you can get a lot of value. That's, I think, what we are going to discuss and what Stefan and Vanessa will demonstrate today on how to get the most of SAP data and external data with our partner Creditreform. I'm really delighted about this, and I wish you a very nice webinar.
Thank you, Hervé, for that. Eager to listen this nice testimonial. As you can see, Alice will be also with us to share some nice content. Do not hesitate to click on the link to have good things to read and to watch after this webinar. Let's jump in our presentations. We've got today amazing speaker, and we will start with you, Vanessa. Please share with us why you're here and what's your role at Meier Tobler.
I've been invited by SOA People to share my experience with the tool, and I'm pleased to do so because I'm really think that is a benefit in my daily work, and I won't miss it. So to my person, I'm working in a responsible position in the field of receivables management since 1999, and also have 22 years of experience with SAP.
Allez, super. Thank you, Vanessa, for joining us today. What about you, Stefan? Just let us know what's your role at in your company.
Hello, everybody. My name is Stefan Bissig. I work for Meier Tobler since 2016, so that was right before the merger between Walter Meier on one side and Tobler Haustechnik on the other side. My background is from the auditing. I worked in the audit industry for about 8 or 9 years, and then joined Meier Tobler in 2016.
Thank you for that. Thank you for being here also, and both of you for this nice return of experience. You understood that this webinar is made with, it's a nice partnership story. We are really lucky to have also Bruno from Creditreform. Bruno, welcome. Let us know also what's your role at Creditreform and why you're here to share your expertise.
Hi, Pierre. I'm responsible at Creditreform for the solution business. In order, to have solutions, you have to sell them. So if anybody is interested in such solutions as the SAP add-on from SOA People, I assist the sales with the sales support. And if it comes to a project, I'm the project manager of the integration on the Creditreform side.
So, sounds great. Thank you.
The same I did with Meier Tobler, so I'm also curious what they're going to say about ours.
Believe me, only positive things, Bruno. We practice together and you can be proud of what you've done. And last but not least, we've got Dennis. This is our expert at SOA People on credit management. Hello, Dennis. Thank you for joining. Just give us a few words about your background.
Yeah, thanks, Pierre, and hello, everybody. So, yeah, I am Dennis. I'm part of our development center here in Germany, in the south of Germany, at SOA People. And as you can see on the slide, I'm the responsible product manager for our credit management suite, which is called Ready4 Credit Management. And my role today will be to give you, in short impression, a live demonstration of the tool in SAP later on.
Amazing. So thank you, Dennis, for that. Let's jump in the purpose of this webinar. We give the floor to you, Meier Tobler, Stefan, Vanessa. Let us know what exactly is the heart of the business of Meier Tobler. Could you detail that for us?
Yeah, sure, I will. Meier Tobler is Switzerland's largest provider or wholesaler of building technologies, all products around heating, ventilation, air conditioning, cooling systems, and so on. The unique selling proposition is our logistics. So our clients, they can order any product. I think it's about 60,000 different products until 5 in the afternoon, and they will receive all products until 7 a.m. next day on the construction site. So it's pretty fast, and I think we're the only one in Switzerland who can provide such a fast service. The company, as you maybe see in the name, came out from a merger between Walter Meier and Tobler Haustechnik. It was a rebrand to Meier Tobler in 2018. So the company is not really new. Both companies, Meier and Tobler, they have a large history. Both were founded more than 60 years ago. So back then, the focus on heating was with oil and gas, and now we're in the climate change also affect us, and we're now focusing on renewable energies. To give you some facts and figures, we have about 1,300 employees, and we generate an annual turnover of around 440 million euros. It was the figure of 2020. And for accounts receivable, we're talking about 20,000 B2B clients and around 200,000 B2C customers. These 200,000, these are mainly house owners, where we provide services for their heating and ventilation system.
Sounds good. So for those who don't know already, and it will be really a mistake, who don't know Meier Tobler already, just jump in the chat. There is a link to their website. And I really recommend you just to watch all the expertise. It's a really nice company, and we're really proud to share this event with you. Let's jump exactly on the topic of this webinar is questions on, hope I share the slide, perfect. We are going to talk about credit management today. And so my questions behind all of that, Stefan, Vanessa, is what are the main challenges for Meier Tobler, and could you detail the impact on the business?
As Stefan told you before, we have a very fast delivery chain. So this is the reason why we need fast information to make fast decisions. Either we can make the delivery to our customers or not. This was the point. Because we had to think over the existing way of working, and that's why we choose a decision where we are just one click away from information. So if a customer orders whatever, I have to be able in between minutes to make a decision, either we do deliver or not. So this was the main problem. And the range of our customers, we are working with one-man businesses up to corporate groups, and this makes it a little bit difficult in telling the credibility of our customers. So we were looking for reliable information, and we found it.
Sounds good. Thank you for sharing that with us, Vanessa. Let's move to the next slides. Concretely, my question is, we understood that the situations could clearly be improved and be more efficient. So concretely, what was you looking for exactly to solve this kind of issues?
And we required information transparently, visible, and editable in one system. So all my colleagues have to be able to have access to the same information at the same time.
All right, super. And what was the benefits expected for such situations?
The accuracy of the information was the main issue that made us make reliable decisions. In the end, this means a significant reduction in payment defaults. The faster you get reliable information, the faster you can act.
Thanks for that. This is something, Stefan, that you shared with us when we were preparing these presentations. May I just read that for you, and maybe you can explain or give us more detail on that. You just said, well, following the merger, the credit management system was not directly linked to Creditreform. So our finance staff has to carry out manual credit report search. Could you just give us really the impact of this situation for your team?
Yeah, exactly. Before the implementation of this tool, all the team members, they had to log into another web portal, so username, password, and then search for the respective credit report. And yeah, it's the same as in Google. Sometimes you get too many results or the wrong results because you have a typo or a misspelling. And yeah, it was always time-consuming that all parameters and search, the search has to be performed manually, and yeah, that was not the situation we want to be in.
Okay, and you had we needed to consolidate the process and enable credit reports to be directly linked to Creditreform and integrated in SAP. Could you just, what those exactly means for your day-to-day business?
Yes, Vanessa already said, for us it's crucial to have the right information at the right time. And now I mean, all team members that they work with on the daily business, they work with SAP, and if they have an order or a customer on the phone, then they're already in SAP, and for example, they check their accounts or another report in SAP, and they can just jump with one click to the credit report, and they're still in SAP. So no change in system or stuff like this. And also, when you jump to the credit report environment, then there you can order a new report, or in case another employee some days or weeks before already gathered a report, you see the report start, and it is accessible to all team members. So for Bruno from Creditreform, it's maybe not the best thing that we see that we already got the report, so it will reduce his revenue, but for us it's more comfortable.
Understand. May I just in between brackets, could you, Stefan, Vanessa, switch off your camera, because we encounter some difficulties hearing you well. So switch off your camera, and because the sound is much more even important. Let's see if it works better. All right. Switch off, but keep it off if you like to. Okay, we'll see if it's better. All right. Thanks for that. Well, I think that we understand that you had some difficulties, with credit management issues. And so what was the way you choose to pick up and to select the right tools? Could you just detail that for us, Stefan and Vanessa?
Yeah, of the merger I mentioned of Meier and Tobler Haustechnik, we faced some issues that the accounts receivable department, they worked on 2 different locations. So we had 2 teams. They work with different processes and different documentation and also different filling structures, and as well as the way they work was different. So in order to straighten this process and the whole documentation, I was looking really for a solution which can support us in this harmonization of all the processes. I knew a similar product, which was also an interface with Creditreform, and so I got in touch with Bruno and the team from Creditreform to discuss about our needs. And just some days or week after we had a web session with people from SOA People to introduce us to this Ready4 Credit Management. So that we had a first look and feel, but in the end, what really convinced me most was not the fact that we have a direct access to the credit report, because it was nothing new for me, but the additional functionalities the solution provides. For example, the possibility of making notes with a reminder. So, for example, on the daily business, we have sometimes clients, they say, okay, I will pay you an amount of X at the end of this week or end of the month. So, and then we will deliver the goods or increase the credit limit. And this information is usually very difficult to handle. And with the Ready4 Credit Management, we can write down a note directly in SAP or directly in Ready4 Credit Management, and also set the reminder. So, for example, from my example before, I can note client X will pay an amount of this end of April, and so I can set the reminder in the first week of May, for example. Then it pops out, and I really can check whether a client is paid or not, and have a good reason to call him back again if the amount was not paid as he promised.
So thank you, Stefan, for this feedback. Really positive feedback. Just detail for us, please, if you can. We understand that technology have a great impact on your day-to-day activity. So could you, for example, detail how you use the solutions and what the solutions mean exactly for Meier Tobler? Could you share more details for us on this topic?
The main goal is that in our daily business, we need actually less time to get all the needed information. And due to the fact that we need less time, we have a capacity of time which we can invest in other urgent activities in our task area. So this is very precious for us to have have a certain amount of time which is not needed to be invested in searching for information, putting information together, informing colleagues. So everything is in the system, and we are just one click away from it, and it makes us, it gives us the opportunity to have some more time to do other urgent things.
Sounds great, Vanessa. Indeed, I believe that this is the purpose of such a digitalization process. Put your teams or your team member on really high-value tasks. This is the idea behind. Everything could be digitalized. Indeed, needs to be digitalized, and you can, with your team, be focused on high-value tasks. So thank you for sharing that. Bruno, I believe that this is really positive for you to hear such a feedback. Could you give us, please, more detail about Creditreform? Take a few words about your expertise and what you provide to your customer.
Yeah, I'm very happy that Stefan found us some years ago and ended up in a successful collaboration. Saying some words about Creditreform, as you see on the left side, we have a long tradition. If you look at the foundation year, further you see with the blue-colored countries that Creditreform regional offices and subsidiaries are mainly situated around Europe. In order to provide worldwide services, we have a strong partner network around the world. In Switzerland, we have 7 independent regional offices, around 200 employees, and 12,000 customers. Moving to the right side of the slide, it shows that we have 2 main business services. It's providing credit management information to our members in order to prevent them from debt losses. That's what we talk about today. And B, providing services for account receivable management as an outsourcing partner. By the way, that's something we also do for Meier Tobler, but we don't talk about it today. We have expanded these services around those 2 subjects for solutions in the area of marketing management, compliance, data analysis, and of course, e-commerce. Today, the brown-colored services are in the focus. SOA People has a solution with the international and the Swiss interface. Next to SOA People, we have a large number of standardized add-ons or plugins for CRM, ERP, or e-commerce systems. So today we talk about the Swiss add-on to SAP from SOA People. Maybe explain why it needs a Swiss add-on. Why is this necessary? Credit policy of companies like Meier Tobler rely crucially on the Swiss specialities like debt collection, register information, customized monitoring, as well as information about consumers. Such needs make it necessary to connect with the Swiss interface, with the Swiss add-on of SOA People. So I was happy to be from the beginning of that partnership with SOA People, and I think now we go over to Dennis and our partnership.
Yes, with pleasure. But first, if you're okay with that, take 1 minute with Dennis just to talk about this strong partnership, because we are lucky we've got two key actors on credit management topics for Switzerland. So could you just detail in a few words what the benefits for this combined solution? Bruno, you shoot, or Dennis?
Yeah, maybe I can take over a little bit. From our point of view, the partnership with Creditreform is very special indeed. First of all, at SOA People, we value very much partnerships like this. This is what we also see as one of our advantages, actually, that we maintain a partnership as close as this. For example, to give you a concrete example, Bruno and myself, we are in regular contact indeed regarding issues we are facing with our customers, or even solutions that we need to find for things. And that's very special indeed, because due to this direct contact indeed between Bruno and myself, we find solutions, if you like, to any problem that could arise. And that's much more worth than with probably other software solutions where you only get the technical integration indeed, and let's say the main processes are kind of integrated in the system. But due to the strong partnership we are facing, we also solve, let's say, the minor issues, the issues that you don't see right in the beginning when you're starting the project, because it sounds so easy. I need to get some credit reports in my system, and it sounds easy to integrate this. But once you're actually doing this, and once you're actually starting a project at the customer side, you will always face some challenges. Like, what do we do with our existing customers? How can we get some mass initial load into the system for our existing customers? How do we manage monitoring exactly? What do we do in case of address changes and so on? So all these things you will discover usually along the project. We already have solutions in place, because it's so easy for me to reach Bruno on Creditreform side, or it's so easy for them to reach me on our side. And then we can just talk it over, find a solution, and with this solution extend our standard product so that all customers are actually benefiting from this close collaboration.
You know, Dennis, I'm really happy to hear that, because there is nothing better than the teamwork to be successful. And I believe that, Bruno, you agree with this feedback from Dennis, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's not much more to say. I can only underline those messages from Dennis, and I really appreciate the collaboration. And we are really happy to be in that little Switzerland, to have such a good collaboration. Thanks.
Perfect. And I obviously, and this is what we're going to share right after. There are strong benefits for the end users and for your customers. All right. Maybe, Dennis, you can help. I don't see if you still see my screen. We're really sorry for some issues we have today. Hope perfect. I come back on the presentations. Could you, in a nutshell, please, Dennis, let us know what's credit management? And after, I think that you prepare a 2 minutes short demo for us to give a look and feel of the presentation, isn't it?
Yeah, so to make this very short, Ready4 Credit Management is from SOA People, an SAP add-on, a solution which is extending SAP with additional functionalities to cover all processes in credit management A to Z. So we do have, of course, integration with credit reports, especially with providers like Creditreform. We do have integration with payment behavior pools, also, for example, with Creditreform in Switzerland, with the exchange pool, and so much more that can be done, because, of course, once you have the data in your system, you want to use the data, you want to analyze the data. So We cover, for example, risk classification and scoring of your customer portfolio, credit limit allocation, credit approvals, credit insurance, until even covering such things which are not strictly credit management, like dispute cases and collection of open receivables. So it's really an A to C solution for SAP users to manage their credit management processes. And on a technical side, it's good to know that with this solution, we are targeting all SAP releases that are relevant today, meaning we are targeting SAP ECC, which is a large installed base of SAP customers, as well as SAP S4HANA. And here we are also targeting, if you're a little bit into these things of SAP, we are targeting as the new Fiori-based user interface, which is completely web-based, as well as the classical SAP GUI interface. And the good thing about this is that all these versions, they are 100% compatible in our solution, which is different with other providers, or which is different with SAP FSCM. But with our solution, it's 100% compatible, and any user can start using our solution with any SAP release they happen to have today running, and then they can progress. Like, for example, they can move on from ECC to S4HANA. Later, they can move on to the new web-based interfaces, and they still can continue use our solution, use the data they already have, because it's really 100% compatible, and there are easy upgrade paths foreseen by us. So that's our solution in just
in a nutshell. Thank you for that, Dennis. Dear participants, we were supposed to share with you what's in real life at Meier Tobler, but indeed, and we perfectly understand that Vanessa and Stefan think that it's not really easy to share real data from their own customer. This is why Dennis will share with you like a short demo, a short look and feel about the solutions that how you can use that in your own company. So Dennis, share your screen if you can. Just show us the solution.
Yeah, just a second. Select window, entire screen, allow. Okay, so it's already sharing my screen. To make it very short, I will shortly show how the solution is looking in the SAP GUI version, which I have running here, and I will also show a little bit how the Fiori-based interface is looking, just to demonstrate what I just said a few minutes ago, that it's really the same solution accessing the same kind of information. So here I am already in our Ready4 Credit Management add-on in one of our SAP systems. And I do have here, let's say, the start page of the solution, which is customizable by the user. And for example, shows to me here an overview of my work list. So notifications of the system, like when there are updates for monitoring in the system or something else happened in the system and so on. And on the left side here, I already prepared some demo customer. I've searched for this customer in the system, and I see all the information I have about this specific customer in the system. And especially important for today's demonstration, of course, is that I do have Creditreform data in the system that I'm going to show in just a few seconds. But I also see I do have some more information about this customer. I do have a customer rating, so I do have some scorecard-based payment experience and so on. I do have credit insurance dispute cases and so on. And all this information is consolidated here on a business partner dashboard, if you like, which is also, again, customizable by the end user, giving me a more detailed overview on this customer here, and all the information. And then, of course, I can see all the details if I like. For example, I can here see my Creditreform report I have in the system. And the good thing with Creditreform here is the very tight integration indeed we do have between the solution in SAP and the database on the Creditreform side, which means I really get real-time information in the system up to date sent by them. And as Bruno already said, we do cover all the specialities that are so special for the Swiss market. And for example, I do see here a small button, send proof of legitimate interest, which is important for the Betreibungsauskunft. I don't know the English word, but I'm sure you all will understand in Switzerland that you can get from Creditreform the original Betreibungsauskunft from the Betreibungsregister. And for that, for example, I need to send a proof of legitimate interest to Creditreform so they can see for data protection reasons that I'm actually allowed to get this information. Then they will send back the information for me. So that's very special that we do cover these things that are common to the Swiss market. So here I do have a short overview on the most important information of the report. And if I like to, I can see the details. Creditreform is sending a PDF report, which is summarizing all the information they have about this customer. So here I think I picked a Credit Plus business report, which is one of the larger credit reports, actually providing a lot of information. And this can be easily retrieved for each customer or business partner in the system. Or if I like to, I don't need to have a business partner in the system if it's still a prospect, for example. But the point is it can be easily retrieved and used in SAP. And this can then be used, for example, to define your credit limits in SAP. So there is some integration. Let me see if I do have it here, business partner credit. Okay, it's an S4HANA system. I don't know if it's customized, but there is some integration with SAP Credit Management indeed. So I can see the same. I can see the same data in SAP Credit Management. For example, here in my S4HANA system, I can use the information when defining my credit limits and so on. And depending on which modules one is using of our solution, one can use the data to do a little bit more. For example, it can be used in a scorecard-based scoring if you're using our risk management module. And here, for example, I do have in this specific case, I do have a scoring based on the information that Creditreform sent me in their report, like for example the legal form, which is in GmbH, which is very good, but the number of employees is quite low, only 5 employees. Additionally, with some own payment experience that is determined from my actual data in SAP, and then, for example, this can be used to have the scoring in the system. This can be used to define credit limits that are automatically set for the customer that are approved, for example, and so on, and so on, and so on. I need to keep this short, actually. I already hear Pierre interrupting me, so just a little bit to show, and I keep it very short, just to show you that it's the same here in Fiori. This is the new interface, and just searching the same customer here. And I already see, for example, I do have here my Creditreform report in the new interface and all the other information actually. But here I need to stop it actually because the solution is quite huge indeed. And I could talk for hours if Pierre wouldn't stop me now.
Yes, indeed, Dennis. I mean, we can feel that you're really passionate about these solutions, but indeed, it covers so many different issues. So concretely, I think that if anyone is interested to know more, do not hesitate to book a meeting with Dennis. Let's jump maybe in the rest of the presentations. I give you the floor again, Vanessa and Stefan. So we are at several stages of the process. Concretely, we understood that you had some issues that you need to solve about credit management. that you was looking for solutions. So you identified that Bruno and SOA People solutions could perfectly help. Hope là, super. And now you decided to work with us. Could you detail us, Stefan, Vanessa, what are the main stage of the process, the implementations of the solutions, and what was your personal experience?
Due to the fact that I'm just working with Meier Tobler since October last year, I hand over to Stefan to introduce you the milestones of the implementation. But as I told several times before, I won't miss working with this solution because it makes me and my team very efficient and very fast in doing our daily business.
Yeah, I give just a brief timeline how would works with us for the So I went back to the documentation and my emails and I found I think that the kickoff was in September 2019, and then we started with signing the contracts and so on, and with the technical work. And in October until November 2019, we set up the technical stuff in SAP and have to say, maybe you saw it in the newspaper. So Meier Tobler was hit by a cyber attack in summer 2019. So our IT department has, I would say, better things to do than implementing a new software. So considering this, the implementation was really smooth. And then it was in November 19. Then because of the year-end close, we had a break until February, and then we on the Meier Tobler side, we had to prepare and a bit to consolidate our master data because of the merger. The master data was, I would say a bit a mess. And in I think it was 20th of April or something in 2020, we had to go live, including an initial load of about 20,000 credit reports. And in the end, we had more or less 6 months from the kickoff until go live, including 2 months of break. So for me and for our IT team and for the accounts receivable team, the process of implementing this software was really nice and smooth. Without major problems. The main problem was the fact that our master data was not as perfect as it should be or could be, but we were really really happy of the process.
Sounds great. I'm really happy to hear that, Stefan. Thank you for that. Could you just detail with us and with our participants what are the concrete benefits or concrete impact on your business?
I will do this part because it's my daily business. The main part of my reporting is based on the reports I can generate with this tool. The daily work of my team members will be much more efficiently organized by using all the varieties this program enables us to do. So we are much more faster, very much faster than we have been before. And the main benefit is that I'm just with Meier Tobler for a little bit more than half a year, but we reduced in this time significantly our dunning numbers. So the amount of dunning letters we have to create is significantly reduced due to the fact that we can act more proactive regarding our outstanding receivables from our customers. So this is a major point for us.
Yeah, and with it, as I said, with about 20,000 active clients, you really need a solution that you can focus on clients which are with higher risk or which the payment history is not that good, and you can't check every client on a daily basis. So the tool as well as the update functionality really helps us in our daily business.
Thanks, Stefan and Vanessa. This is indeed something that you really underlined during the presentation, during the preparation, but also during the presentations. Concretely, using these tools allow you to have a clear and reliable view on the situations, indeed to take the fast decisions based on facts and figures. I think that this is the main benefit that you can get from the situation, isn't it? Especially because in such a troubled time, I would say it's important to have like a clear overview of what's happened, solvability, the ability to your customer to pay the invoice, I would say, and to make sure that everything goes smooth with the interaction with the customer. I don't hear you, in fact, Stefan, Vanessa. I don't know.
Could you repeat your question, please, because the connection was quite a bit bad.
I'm really sorry for that. And dear participant, I'm also sorry for that. But concretely, the idea is to base your decisions, accept or not an invoice, be able to get in contact with your customers with true facts and figures based on facts and figures. This is the idea behind, isn't it?
The main issue in this constellation is that we, on one hand, we have to have a reliable technical base, and this is your tool for us. And on the other hand, we have to have reliable data, which will be provided from the Creditreform. And all this together is exactly what our needs are. So we have a reliable technical base which provides functions we need for our daily business, and we have the reliable data we can use to make our decisions.
All right, thank you, Vanessa, for that. Let me share with you a short, before we start the Q&A sessions, I will share with you this quote. The plan is to have much more control over which customers aren't paying, stimulating the capturing of information on the whole dining processes. So Ready4 Credit Management helps synchronize the way our people work. This is, in a nutshell, what you share with us today during this presentation, Stefan. And so thank you for this testimonial. This is time for the Q&A sessions. Dear participants, this is a good moment to ask your question to Stefan and to Vanessa. Please shoot. Maybe I will start the first. Vanessa, Stefan, what's next concretely for Meier Tobler on this topic?
Because your system provides a huge amount of possibilities for us, we're having trouble to use it all right now. Every day we are kind of optimizing our daily work. This is a process. There is no end in this working with your tool. So every day we have new ideas how we can use the given figures, and this is, for me, it's a lot of fun to be able to work with such a tool.
It's working with Excel. So in the beginning, you have like the basis functionalities, and when you get used to it, you get deeper and deeper and accelerate the speed and the things you can do with the tool. And I think now we're more or less at the stage VLOOKUP or something for compared to Excel.
You know, Stefan, that made me really happy to see that these tools make credit management fun. Thank you for that. That's really a positive feedback, I would say. Do we have any questions in the chats? Yes, we are here to help you increase the usage of your SAP and your add-on. Indeed, Hervé. Dear participants, no more questions for the moment to Stefan and Vanessa? No, I will just underline some things coming from these quotes, Stefan. You said that it helps synchronize the way our people work. And I think that indeed behind every project, there are people. And the goal for Meier Tobler using this the Ready4 Credit Management and Creditreform solutions is to increase the performance and make it easier for your people at Meier Tobler to work easier, to work better together, and saving time to make process more efficient. So thank you for that. And indeed, this is so key to put your efforts and some valuable actions, I will say, Stefan. Joan, thank you very much for sharing your experience. If possible, I would like to put the following questions.
Two questions, Pierre.
Yeah, for sure. I see them. Super. To Meier Tobler, how was the internal feedback of your sales representative and project manager?
Yeah.
What is the
the cooperation with our sales or with every sales department, if you are in my position, is very specific one. So normally they're just saying everything what is coming from my department is bad. But actually the cooperation is very, very intense and very good at Meier Tobler, because we are not saying, oh, you can't sell this customer whatever you want to, because we are having so much information for our sales department, which makes them spend more time with clients which have a financial potential, and it's very useful. Our information are very useful for our sales department, and we're just at the beginning to generate some certain kind of reports to provide them with the data they needed. For example, if you can tell your sales agents, look, this is your region in Switzerland, and in this region, at your customers, you have a certain amount of customers with the Bonitätsindex of 2, which means they are quite good, and we have a certain amount of your customers which are really bad. So maybe you have the focus more on the customers with this potential than with this non-potential. So the feedback I actually get from my colleagues is very positive. It took a time, but now it's positive.
What a good news. There is the same questions regarding the feedback from your customers. Have they experienced a positive change in the business relationship? For example, faster services?
Could you repeat it again, please?
Yes, for sure. Vanessa, in fact, you said, well, this is a positive feedback from your sales representative and project manager, but what's the feedback for your customers? Did they experience positive changes in the business relationship between you and them?
No, we keep our information away from our customers. We do not talk with them about their credit. If I do have to call a customer, it's usually it's not good. So as long as I'm not talking to one of our customers, everything is fine. We're doing it inside, so that the contact between me and our customers is not regarding their credibility or credit limits. we try to avoid it.
But you know, finally, Vanessa, behind that, this is an increase of the customer relationship. You really contact them only when it's needed, isn't it? This is the project behind.
We kind of do it the good cop, bad cop thing, and I'm definitely the bad cop in this business. So,
all right.
The sales colleagues.
Okay, so sounds good. Thank you for that, for sharing. I mean, thank you for sharing that with us, Vanessa. This is the true day-to-day work, I would say. There is another question from Johannes. If I understood correctly, Meier Tobler was looking for a solution for credit management in the Swiss market. Is there also a setup for companies that operate across Europe with branches and sell their national markets from there? So I believe that it's maybe a question for Dennis to answer.
Yeah, indeed. So yes, this is possible too, because really with SOA People, we are a European company indeed, with branches ourselves in different countries, like for example in Switzerland, in Germany, in Belgium, in France, in the Netherlands. So we are ourselves organized like that. And for that reason, the software can be used like that too, of course. Today, we were focusing on the Swiss solution for the Swiss market. But in fact, many of our customers are using the software as it is written here in the chat. They do have, of course, their head office, for example, in Switzerland or in Germany, and they are using the software at their head offices for certain tasks. And then they do have some branches, let's say local branches in a country, and use the software there too, probably working with a regional information provider specific to that country. Because of course in each country has their own market leader for credit agencies, but all in all, with the software they make sure they are using, let's say, comparable and identical processes, so they all use the same credit policy if they like to. They are using the same rules to analyze their customers. They are using the same approval workflows and so on. So they do benefit from some kind of unification by using the software while keeping the regional specialities if they like to.
Thank you, Dennis, for that. I hope that, Johannes, we answered your questions. Well, we're running already out of time. If you have one more questions, do not hesitate, but you've seen my contacts. You can see here, if you have anything else, any questions, do not hesitate to get in contact with us, for sure. You will receive the slides on the replay, but before closing these sessions, I really want to give warm thank you to you, Vanessa and Stefan, for your participation, for sharing this experience, especially because there were special presentations today, but you did it perfectly, and it was a pleasure from the beginning to now to make this and to prepare and to make this presentation with you. So thanks a lot for that.
Well, welcome.
Dear participants, I really wish you all the best. You understand that we
Pierre, on t'entend plus.
Yeah.
I think Pierre disappeared. So as the head of SOA People Swiss, I'd like to thank you, everyone. It was a great testimonial from Meier Tobler. Thank you so much, Vanessa. And thank you so much, Stefan. Thank you, Denise, Bruno. Thank you, everyone. You were a lot today. I mean, it was one of our biggest webinar, which probably explained a bit of a hiccup in the technical stuff. Thank you, Pierre. You are back for hosting this webinar. Thank you, everyone. If you need more information, you email me or Pierre or Bruno, and we will be very happy to help you in optimizing your credit management function. Have a very nice day.
Sounds good. Thank you for the conclusion, Hervé.
Bye-bye.
Yes,
Have a good day. Merci. See you.